Now, I'm not being dramatic. There are just some people on the job that you just really don't like. I don't care how many HR videos you watch, how many all-inclusive conferences that they make you attend, or however many videos that they make you check off on the computer. There's no amount of videos to make you really like some people. Sometimes you and people just really don't mix. Like, you know that one person at that job who you really, really feel it all in your chest that you want to tell them go straight to hell, but you know you're kind of already on your last step because you're basically the entrepreneur that's on the bridge all the way already out the door, and they already can sense it because you're kind of walking in that future energy, so you just don't say it. That person. By now, you know that everything that I talk about is about entrepreneurship on the bridge of being an entrepreneur. I'm here for the person that is not quite at their business yet, and they're not quite at work. You're in that in-between place and really trying to figure out. And I'm here to let you know how working with these fools at your job can prepare you for entrepreneurship. Now, you don't hate the work that you do. A lot of times the work that you do will sometimes become the business that you end up doing. You just hate the place that you have to do the work, or the people that you have to do the work with. Like, so have you ever been just so mad at work you just started typing everything with one finger, one at a time, just literally trying to make the time go just a little bit quicker because you just hated being there? That type of thing. So as I mentioned, you don't hate the work, you just hate the place that you do it with, or the people that you're doing the work with. Many of us don't hate the job function, we just hate the micromanager. Hey everybody, welcome to the third episode of the What I Know Now podcast. I am your host, Chris Ford, for What I Know Now, because what I know now is anything that you've gone through, 9 times out of 10, I've been there. So let's get into it. I hate that bitch. We all have that one person at the job who we just literally cannot stand. Who, I hate that bitch. Now, look, I'm using the term bitch in a all-inclusive type of term. Since we live in a very inclusive society, men, women, bosses, female bosses can all be bitches. Bitches is subjective to you. And on this episode of What I Know Now is help. I hate the people I fucking work with. I can say very, very, very recently, I had a very, very micromanaging, know-it-all-y type of, I'm the best of the best type of micromanager. And if you've ever really wanted that extra push, that wind in your back to get the fuck out of a place, start working with a micromanager who micromanages their micromanaging. Now, how is it possible to micromanage your micromanaging? Micromanaging the micromanaging would be telling me to do something and then calling me back within a certain amount of time and asking me if I've already done it when I didn't really have a chance to do it, but then adding an assignment on top and then asking me, have I finished what you asked me to do, but not given a time on it. That's how you have micromanaging that you've done. But that is one of the main things that can really make a person hate the environment that they work in. So how does working with people who micromanage, people who aren't really smart enough to be doing the job, but yet you still have to work with them, how does working with these people prepare you to be an entrepreneur? I can tell you for a fact that Working with people of that type of caliber really stretches out your emotional quotient or your emotional stability. So as an entrepreneur, we all know, or you may not know yet, that things are not always going to go your way. Being an entrepreneur is one of the most up and down type of things that you could ever have embraced in your life. And I tell anybody who wants to be an entrepreneur, you have to develop a stomach of steel. Hi, I'm Chris. You may remember me as the guy who showed up late to work or just didn't show up at all. Yeah, I'm here now. So some of the lessons that I learned from working in a toxic work environment. Now, everyone uses the word toxic so loosely. Now, toxic isn't just a word used to describe a place that didn't let you get PTO. I wouldn't necessarily call that a toxic work environment. But if you're a person that really is meant to be an entrepreneur, anywhere that you work is going to be toxic for your mindset, skill set, and for your overall vision, because you're not meant to be there. When you get to the point to where you're either job hopping from job to job to job, sometimes you're not the problem. You're just not supposed to be working for anybody. So when I mention a toxic work environment or a toxic workplace, these are some of the things that working in a toxic work environment can absolutely teach you. Toxic work environments teaches you people management, emotional regulation, communication under pressure. Now, there's nothing like having to communicate to a person who gives you deadlines with no deadline. So that would be like saying, hey, I need this done, but when and how should it be done? Pressure under communication, that type of thing. Resilience and discernment. There's nothing like having to play human chess for 8 hours at work, and it can get exhausting, because the truth of the matter is, you have to remember that there's some people at that job that don't like you. You have to reframe your mind that this is basically the business school of hell, Harvard, hell edition, depending on what level you are in the company. You're learning how to survive, what not to do. So entrepreneurship, one thing entrepreneurship is not a vacation for people. The matter of the fact is, becoming an entrepreneur, you're going to be dealing with people a lot more than what you probably do deal with people at work. Now, you can fake not being able to make it to the meeting, you can call in sick, but there is a shift. There is something that changes when you are the person that's running the meetings and you can no longer call in. When you are the talent, when you are building the business, when the invoices start coming in your name, they totally hit different. The truth is, entrepreneurship will expose these same triggers that working with people should have helped you to resolve. Clients will frustrate you. Contractors will ghost you. Business partners will test you. So if you can't survive fake, disgusting potluck dinners, you know, the potato salads with the raisins, you definitely won't survive entrepreneurship. So use this pain. Don't waste it. The irritation you feel now, journal it, record it. Record your own personal growth. As an entrepreneur, this is going to be something that is totally new to you. Learning how to compartmentalize, learning how to control your emotions, learning how to push yourself into that place when you don't feel like it is something that you're going to have to do every single day as an entrepreneur. just to make it out of the job. The bridge sometimes to entrepreneurship can be so long, and sometimes it can feel like walking in a wind tunnel. So how else don't I use this? How do I become a better business person simply by working with people that I fucking hate? You build the opposite environment in your own business. If breaks was something that was not done in the place that you previously worked at, then you make sure you interject those breaks in. Learn how to protect your peace, your time, your mindset. These are things that you could consistently work on in your business. What type of culture do you want to set in your business, and what type of culture do you want to enforce and have your people enforce in your business? Remember, you don't want to stay as a person working in your business. You're going to eventually have employees. You're going to eventually be responsible for another person's bills, another person's lives. Just because everyone doesn't want to become an entrepreneur doesn't necessarily make them bad. It just means that you have more options of people to hire. And those people that we have the options to hire, we owe them to not let them go through the same exact experience that we experienced working for somebody else. So what do I do with all of this? Don't let your coworkers trick you out of your character or trick you out of your calling. Use the rage. Go to the bathroom. Scream if you have to. That Sunday night dread, that Monday doom, use it. Start designing a business that doesn't just pay you, but protects you. The number one thing that you want to make sure that you build your business up to have enough strength to stabilize you first as the entrepreneur, so you never have to go back and work for another person again. One of the main reasons that I have such a passion for helping people while they are at work, guiding them across that bridge, is one, I didn't have anybody to guide me. I had no one to tell me, Chris, you need to make sure that you stabilize your emotions. Chris, you probably shouldn't go off on them right now. Chris, first of the month is coming, rent is going to be due. These are things that we have to really take into account when we're going through the burden of working with people that we just fucking hate at work. You don't have to like them, but you, as my mother would always say, you gotta say good morning to them. Sometimes you have to laugh at their corny ass jokes. Sometimes you have to find a sweet way to say, I don't fuck with you. So remember, every time you bite your tongue, you're pushing yourself forward into the person that you want to be, into the vision that you see. Every time that you go off on a person, or you decide to procrastinate and not do what it is that you set yourself out to do, you pull your own self back from that vision. The truth of the matter is, no one can stop you from doing anything. No one can stop you from opening up your business. Nobody can stop you from getting your money. Even if people try to sabotage you at work, there's always another way to get done what you need to get done. I cannot tell you how many people who it felt that their main objective in life, or at least from 9 to 5, was to try to drag me straight through hell. How many times did I cry and say, God, I'm not even doing anything to these people, or these people just keep trying to sabotage me. And those very same people that kept trying to sabotage me, and probably are more likely watching this podcast right now, watching this podcast right now, are the very exact people who gassed up my car. So I want you to take this with you. So I want you to take this with you, because one day you'll be the person that's signing the checks. And nobody, not Karen, Stephanie, Keisha, LaQuanda, John, Jim, Damon, Dante, can stop you from getting where you need to be. Because what we have to realize is, where we need to be, we're not just getting there for our sales, but the very same business that we're building is going to help pay for someone's schooling. It is going to help pay for someone's home, and we owe it to them to start that business, successfully run that business, create an environment that they can comfortably come to work, because the truth of the matter is people's lives are already hell. And so when you're the person that's running the business, and when people come to you, you can say, the only reason that I learned how to operate this business is because I learned how to work with people I fucking hate.